Welcome back to the Beards and Business Show, Phoenix Suns, Dallas Mavericks edition. Again, with me co-hosting this is Sky Parker there in Phoenix, Arizona. Welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Yeah, we'll get to welcome everybody. Hey, so Sky, let's just get the cat out of the bag and just, shame me a little bit for that terrible performance by my Dallas Mavericks. I'm ready. Go ahead.
So I'm gonna have to play the song that the Suns come out to on. And I wanted to let you know we were just talking where I sat at the game. And I wanted to let you know that I was one of the first 500 people in the house. Look at that, he's even wearing his Chucks. So I'm gonna do something.
Bad boys.
I'm gonna do something different. I'm actually gonna start off with my prediction.
Okay, let's hear it.
This is where it starts. Then we're gonna talk about it. This is what I want to see, like even before the game starts. Game 6 last year against the Clippers, when Booker pretty much put the Clippers out. Chris Paul was out. He wore the black suit, the glasses, and he was walking through the tunnel like this, but he looked like John Wick. And I was like, it's over. It's over. So I'm going to be able to tell you if my prediction is true when I see him coming through the tunnel. If he looks like John Wick, we're taking game 7.
Lights out. Yeah.
But no, in reality, I have a much closer game. I know there was a bigger disparity than both of us had projected. I was being bold with 15 points, and it was bigger than that. Probably one of the funnest events that I've been to in a long time.
Not fun for us, man. Was not fun for us. There was nothing fun about that game.
You're not gonna like this. I think it's gonna be closer. But I do think that the Suns need to take care of business. I don't want to see Scott Foster in game 7 because he's not there tonight. I checked. No Scott Foster tonight. Part of the reasoning in my prediction. But I have the Suns 110 to 104. I think we take the series in 6. If Monty has a game plan, I watched it last year against the Clippers and the Lakers. We just came out on the road in game 6 and delivered. They need to do that tonight. So and thank God for Scott Foster, because I said at the beginning, before we even started on game 1, my heart said 4. What I wanted, I didn't get it. I had to buy somebody a drink yesterday because there wasn't a suite. He was the biggest Luka fan that I know. My brain said 5, so I really wanted 5, but I give it to the Mavericks. You guys held home court. But I also said with Foster, it's going to be 6, but we don't have Foster. I still think we're going to take care of it in 6. So I just wanted to start and give you the prediction up front, and there's some things I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to hold my prediction till the end. So
okay,
we're gonna kind of chop it up a little bit on the performance. I heard it in your voice. I saw it in your face after we won 2 at home, and it was just like this madness. Like, I can't believe we played so terribly. And so now I feel it. I have empathy for how you felt the other day. And so now I'm looking back at it and saying, okay, we get to go back to Dallas. I'm pulling for the Mavericks, obviously. I
get it.
Yeah, I think that it's possible. I think that we can take another one at home. I think it's not probable, right? I mean, it's from a statistic standpoint, we shouldn't win this game, but from a true hard fan, like, I just want to make sure that I would love to see a game 7. I know that would make you just completely nuts.
I would lose my mind, man.
And I believe that in game 7, Phoenix would win the series. I don't see the Mavericks going past the Phoenix Suns in this series, but I would love to see a game 7 just from the sheer point of getting these guys more experience. I mean, to get the Phoenix Suns down into a game 7 would be fantastic for this group on their development side. And that's really what I'm looking at. Not really from a, we're going to go all the way. I'm not delusional. But at the same time, crazier things have happened. So that's why I want to see it, just from a selfish standpoint. I know from a Phoenix Sun standpoint, you guys definitely do not want to go 7.
Oh no.
And knowing that there's going to be probably 5 in that Golden State game, then they're going to be done. And so I know for a fact that you guys don't want that.
Yeah, and the scary part about the 7 is whenever you have a play, all trash talking everything aside, when you have a player like Luka, he's going to give you a chance.
Right.
And one thing we do know, the energy is going to be amazing tonight. Cuban sitting courtside, it's going to be amazing, and they're going to give the Suns their best punch.
Absolutely.
And they're either going to stay in it and make it close, or the Suns are going to take the punch, and then they're going to have the reason I have it close winning in the 4th is I think, for Paul and Booker, I think if the game's close, they're going to get it done. I think Luka would be crazy tired by then. But going back to what we talked about, Monty earned Coach of the Year, and these are adjustments I want to talk about real quick. So I said don't double Luka. Monty went a step further. He didn't. So their closeouts were amazing. We took away, you could think he had like 28% 3-point shooting because it hands in the face. But what he did that was really nice is he brought out 6 or 7 different looks on Luka. Okay, so you had Paul on him, Booker was on him a couple times. That's where they were getting really trashy. DeAndre Ayton. But the big surprise was the first timeout that we called, because you guys looked promising to start the game. Biyombo came in, like no JaVale.
Crazy.
And Biyombo went straight to Luka and played fantastic. And one thing I want to tell you, sitting up, but we had the behind the Larry seat. One of the things sitting that close that I came to the realization, and you don't until you see it in person, Luka is such a beast. I mean, I had the perspective of about 15 yards away, where Ayton's down in his stance guarding Luka. He had 2 great challenges, and I'm like, I think Luka weighs more.
Right. Yeah.
So I've had the privilege.
He's got some mass, man. He does. Goodness.
I've had the privilege of seeing Magic live. He's bigger than Magic.
Yeah, that's
so crazy. I was like, so that was the first time I was like, damn, like you can't let him get. This is why he's destroying people. I think they're letting him get a little too physical, but we got to keep him out there shooting. We got to keep him out there shooting.
And if he gets into the paint, dude, it's lights out.
Everything up.
Yep. Yeah, he's lights out. He's got that one-handed fade away off the glass, just like down to an exact science.
And I will say this about the first quarter: him and Brunson were both. I thought the defense was fantastic, even though Dallas jumped out. And here was the reason: they were challenging. I saw Booker and Mikal in the corner make amazing closeouts. They were challenging everything. Brunson and Luka were still making the shots, but I was like, "There's no way they're going to sustain and make those kind of shots through 4 quarters." So I thought the first quarter, even though you guys got the lead and you came out, I was like, I like how the first quarter went, and then we kind of turned it on. We controlled the boards. So, keeping it from the outside, we sealed good. We got to running, even though, you guys didn't get your 110, 120 that you're accustomed to. The Suns got out on some turnovers because we were controlling the glass, not giving second shots. That was a big thing. So, if we can sustain that, it's going to be tough, but I know Dallas is going to give us the best shot. And I do say this because Luka, built the whole Luka and Booker thing. Everybody is like, oh, Booker did this and Luka did that. I think it's great for the game of basketball, and I think it's going to be a big rivalry for a long time. Dallas got over the hump, and what I did from that game is I got a respect for Luka. I hadn't had that before. I think I told you he's the golden boy. I feel like they're handling, but it's kind of the same thing. I talked about Magic, watching Kobe. I hated him as a Suns fan, but you know what? I respect what they did for the game. So I'm going to put Luka in that category. The only thing I want, and Booker does this, so I'm not finger pointing. The head going up when there's almost any kind of contact. Booker does it, Luka does it, Brunson is Paul. I'm like, I want to start seeing technicals for people that don't get hit and are
Yeah.
faking.
Yeah.
And you even saw, and Booker
Yeah.
made fun of it. You saw the Luka special, right?
Right.
I'm like, that's how you got them to review it.
Right.
If you don't do the theatrics, they're not going to even go to the scorers table and review it.
Right.
So rewarding people for that, I think the league needs to look at that and say, this is bad for basketball. It slows down the pace, the momentum. It's just bad scene. So you got to start penalizing people that do that. So if you're going to go to the replay, and I'll take the Booker one, where we're totally theatrical, Luka special. If they would have reviewed that and there was no contact, or I think they should have gave Booker a technical.
Okay. All right.
I mean, they got it right. It was a common foul, but I want to see that. Hey, if you're going to look at this and this guy's theatric laying on the ground, he's either really hurt or he's really acting. And if he's really acting and he just stopped the game, I want to assess that person a technical foul.
Of course.
So
yeah, I mean,
that's something they look at.
Yeah, I think that is. I mean, that's a great point, and I think what you said, it could clean up the game a lot, right? Let's clean up the game. Let's let them play basketball. I mean, the game of basketball used to be a pretty dang physical game, and it's almost become soccerish in the theatrics. And so, we want to keep that out as much as possible.
And let me give you my biggest aggravation. This is my biggest aggravation of watching the game live. Is we don't talk enough about DeAndre, so let's talk about some keys. I was talking to somebody this morning for DeAndre in the market. This is a $30 million game. If you go out and you drop 30 and 15 and you dominate like you should, I'll super max you. You get us to the next series you play, you're a crucial role in our championship, and you step up that aggression. This is where I was frustrated. So someone had that conversation with him or something along those lines. First possession, he catches it, he turns around, and he goes to go up, a little bit of contact, and he's just aggressive, and he's in the mouth, and you're like, hell yeah, he's going to the line. And they say, offensive foul. And I was like, and he made the basket. So if anything, it's a no call. But I'm going back to what you said about how the playoffs used to be, like let the basketball players play. If anything, it really should have been a no call. And I was like, he did exactly, like he started the perfect game, and now you're penalizing for him.
Right.
And I want to give you one more because he gets his feelings hurt. He gets his feelings hurt. You can see how it affected. The second one, I don't know if you saw this one. I know they replayed it. I was in person, so I was right there. Luka comes down and he gets into the paint like we don't want to, and DeAndre meets him, and you're like, perfect. Like that's a dude that he's not going to be able to move. And I swear, I told you I'm a coach. DeAndre was a statue. Like if you looked up defense in the dictionary, it was a picture of how DeAndre was. And then Luka backed up against him, created the contact, and they called the foul on him. And I'm like, this poor guy, you did what I wanted you to do. You stayed in there, you took the contact, and the refs took it away. So that was my only aggravation. Obviously, the rest of the game was special. So
yeah, special. Yeah, not real special. But yeah, no, that is something, and you almost have to hand it to. You got to hand it to them when they are doing a good job of acting. But at the same time, like I only like it whenever it's for my team. I don't like it whenever I see it on other teams. But even then, some of the times you're like, come on, just go play, right? Like, people getting up and crying. They're like, oh, I got fouled. Didn't you see that? And the official's like, you got all ball, dude. Like, go sit down.
and the replays, it takes away from the game. And I'm like, look,
of course.
I paid a lot of money for this ticket, and I want to see basketball. I don't want to see the league and the officials dictating, taking away the pace, catering to this, and it's just bad because as going as a coach, some of the most crucial things are when you have momentum. Like you're going to see it tonight. Dallas is going to get like an 8-point run. They're going to have the momentum. Everybody's going to be standing up.
Yep.
Everybody has adrenaline. And then, like, if a stupid play happens and it's questionable and somebody acts, then we stop the game. And when
And
you stop
all
the
the
game
momentum's
on
gone.
when you stop the game on TNT, especially Mr. Marketing, that could be like 8 minutes. Like,
Right.
literally,
Yeah, it's forever.
we're gonna walk over to the table. We're gonna look at it 8 times, like if you couldn't tell on the first time, and then we're gonna talk, and then Reggie
There's some
knows
ad
this.
spots out there to be sold.
Yeah. So, but
Anyway, okay. Well, I think that is enough of the dwelling on that game for sure.
so let's
And let's kind of
let's
go
get
in.
your final. I wanna hear it. Let's see.
All right. So I actually think no, I'm not doing it. All right. Wins
Now
this
you gotta do it. No.
Dallas wins this game 108-103. It's going to be an electric game. I am calling for a lower scoring game. And I believe Dallas wins this game for a couple of reasons. One, I think that they're going to give that shot. I think they're going to come out hard. They know that they have to, and I think they're going to be able to keep the Suns at bay a little bit. I think it's going to be a scary game. I think at some point it's going to either be Dallas winning in the very beginning, and then the Suns are going to come back, and then Dallas is going to fight back and forth. I think it's going to be a fight. And I think that
It'll definitely be a fight.
I think the Mavs want to push it to 7. It's kind of like, no hold bar. Like we're not holding anything back. We're going to give it everything that we got. We've proven that we can win. We're good. We're going to show up at home. And I think the fans are going to help a lot with the environment. Because when
that's it.
Stadium gets lit, man, it is on fire.
Yep. And we had talked about the role players. That's one thing we keep talking about. Your role players didn't have it. I thought Monty came out with an incredible game plan.
He did.
And the other thing, I didn't even, the other genius part that Monty came out with that I was impressed is we knew Campaign had been struggling, and I was almost like, give Holiday his minutes. He's bigger versus Luka. Now that I've seen him in person, it doesn't really matter.
Right.
But Luka's longer, or Booker's longer. They went heads up probably half the possessions. The thing that Monty did was great. We got that timeout halfway through, like Chris Paul. We know Booker's going to stay in. So I was like, what's going to do? And Cam Johnson ran out. I was like, oh, Booker point. And when you think about it, before we had Chris Paul, the bubble, I'm like, Booker's running point. We're just going to bring on another guy, and we're not even going to explore that. So I was like, that's good. So Booker's our captain, Paul's our captain. The fact that you have 2 guys like that, I think they're going to take care of business in the fourth.
It does, and it's the one thing. I mean, like I said, I changed it last minute. Like, I don't care. I don't care about being historically correct in this moment.
You got to go with your heart. My heart said it was a sweet.
Right.
But no. But as we can know with the game last night, anything can happen.
Sure.
So you're almost like, after seeing a 40-point win where you think Golden State's going to close out, and what that does is that gives the winner of this series more time.
Right.
So we're going to take your best punch. You said it. Dallas, either Saturday, I'm either playing a game 7 or I'm booking my trip to Cabo. Like, which one is it going to be? No one wants to go to Cabo yet.
Right.
So wait till October.
Right. Give it to me later, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Very cool. Well, Sky, this was amazing as always.
Last thing I want to say.
Yeah, go ahead.
If it does go 7, are you going to be in town?
Yeah.
All right.
I'll be in town.
Keep that in mind. That in mind. I might have an extra ticket. So
okay. Well, I'll be there.
We might. So let's say it now.
Okay.
This podcast, if there is a 7, may have to be at the 118 bar that they opened up on the remodel with the scoreboard in the background. That's where the next podcast, I think, should be if it goes 7.
Dude, I totally say we set it up.
Right.
Game 7.
All right.
So we're hoping for a game 7.
I'm not.
I know you're not.
But if I'm wrong and that happens, yes, we'll see.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Yes,
All
cool.
right, always a pleasure.
All right, let's
Thank you so
hope
much,
that this
Andrew.
isn't the last one, but if it is, it's been a pleasure. And go enjoy the game. We're gonna go enjoy the game, and we'll see what happens.
Yes, awesome.
Have a good one,
Never
Scott.
words have been truer than that. We'll definitely see what happens.
See what happens. Take care,
All right,
Scott.
take care.
See you, man.